Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 132, Calculus with Applications, Section 15.4, Problem 10. This is Section 15.4, Problem 10. We have the definite integral of x squared minus 1 over x to the fourth dx from 2 to 1. So to solve an integral like this, the problem is the variable in the denominator. I have to rewrite this without a variable in the denominator before I can integrate it. So the way to deal with something like this is what I call the common denominator trick. You split that one big fraction into two smaller fractions, which you can then reduce. So instead of x squared minus 1 in the numerator by itself, I do x squared over x to the fourth, and then negative 1 over x to the fourth. I split it into two separate things. And it's the same. It's the same denominator. I could put them back, but this way I can kind of divide and conquer. Now let me reduce each one. So same definite integral from 2 to 1. X squared over x to the fourth is 1 over x squared. But I can cancel some of the x's. And the 1 over x to the fourth doesn't really simplify much. So I still have a variable in the denominator, but now each piece I can just write with a negative exponent instead. So instead of 1 over x squared, I can write that as x to the minus 2. And instead of minus 1 over x to the fourth, I can write it as x minus x to the minus 4. And again, because it's an integral, until I integrate, I keep the dx on the end. So now I've changed it into a form that I can integrate. Now I have a variable with an exponent. So the way we deal with that is we're going to make a fraction in front of the variable, and it's the old exponent plus 1. So in this case, negative 2 plus 1. Put your variable in, x, and then new exponent is the old exponent plus 1. And I'll simplify that on the next line. For the next piece here, we have minus 1 over negative 4 plus 1, the old exponent plus 1, x to the old exponent plus 1, negative 4 plus 1. And now let me simplify that a little bit. 1 over negative 2 plus 1 will be 1 over negative 1. X to the negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Minus 1 over negative 4 plus 1 is 1 over negative 3. X to the negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. And I can even simplify that a little bit more. Instead of 1 over negative 1, let's just call that minus x to the negative 1. And then minus 1 over minus 3. The two minuses can cancel. I can call that plus 1/3 x to the negative 3. So that's an answer. And I'm going to put a long vertical line to the right side of that. And I'm going to put in my limits of integration, 2 for the upper limit and 1 for the lower limit. Now I'm actually going to plug in numbers now and not integrate. I'm done with the integrating. It actually makes more sense to put the variable back into the denominator, making the exponent positive. So let me rewrite this as minus 1 over x to the positive 1 plus 1 over 3x to the positive 3, 1 over 3x cubed. So I'm bringing it back down into the denominator in order to actually plug in the 2 and the 1 to put in numbers so that I can do it more sensibly. So that's the end of step 1. All this work was just step 1. I solved the integral, and then I rewrote the answer into a form where I can plug in my limits of integration. So step 1 is done. Step 2, put in the upper limit of integration into the answer. So minus 1 over x will become minus 1 over 2, plus 1 over 3x cubed would be 3 times 2 cubed. So the minus 1/2 in front I'll just keep, and then I'm going to have 2 cubed. 2 cubed is 8, times 3 in front is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. So I have negative 1/2 plus 1/24. So I have two different denominators, which isn't really working for me. So let me write the 1/2 as 12/24, and it's negative, plus 1/24. So negative 12/24, positive 1/24 is negative 11/24. So that's the answer for step 2. I put in the upper limit of integration for the answer, did the math, got some fractions, I got negative 11/24. Step 3, put in the lower limit of integration, a 1, see what I get for an answer. So Negative 1 over x will be negative 1 over 1 plus 1 over 3x cubed becomes 1 over 3 times 1 cubed. So minus 1 over 1 is going to be negative 1, and then the second fraction becomes 1/3. The 1 cubed is 1 times the 3 in front puts a 3 in the denominator. So negative 1 plus 1/3 will be negative 2/3. So now I have step 2, negative 11/24. Step 3, negative 2/3. What I do with this is subtract the answer from step 2, negative 11/24, minus the answer from step 3, negative 2/3. Pay attention to all the negatives. So the answer from step 2, negative 11/24, minus the answer from step 3, negative 2/3. So that minus a minus will become a plus. So let me leave the negative 11/24 as my first fraction, make that plus from the minus a minus. And now 2/3, I want the same denominator. So I can turn this 3 into a 24 by doing times 8. But if I do the bottom times 8, I must also do the top times 8. 2 times 8 will give me a 16. So 16 over 24 is still 2/3. And it becomes plus 16 over 24. So now I have my common denominator. Let me combine my numerators. Negative 11, positive 16. So I'm going to have 5/24. You reduce that if you can, but it won't reduce. So 5/24 is your final answer.